Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to solve day 24 problem of this month on LeetCode. Before starting, if you guys haven't subscribed my YouTube channel yet, then please go ahead and subscribe it. Now without any delay, let's get started with today's problem. Problem number 166. Fraction to recurring decimal. So let's read the problem statement. We have given two integers representing the numerator and denominator of a fraction, right? And we have to return the fraction in string format. And if the fraction part is repeating, then we have to enclose the repeating part in parentheses. So if you see this example number 3, 4 divided by 333. So here we are going to get output something like this, 0.012, 012, 012. So 012 is repeating, right, in this side. So we are just going to enclose it in parentheses, right? And if multiple answers are possible, return any of them, and it is guaranteed that the length of the answer string is less than 10 to the power 4 for all the given inputs, right? And these are the constants. So here in the constants they have mentioned that denominator is not equal to 0 and numerator and denominator from minus 2 power 31 to 2 power 31 minus 1, right? So negative values can be there, right? So what we need to do now, let's understand this, right? So here first thing, if your numerator is 0, if your numerator is 0 and your denominator is any number, right? So let's say 5, then tell me what is the output you are going to get. So 5 is the denominator and n is the numerator, right? 0, right? So 5 into 0 is nothing but 0. That's it. Our output is 0, right? Output is 0, right? Because remainder is 0, there is no part in decimal side, right? So output is 0. Now here, if my d value of denominator is negative, if my numerator is 0 and I'm saying if my denominator value is negative, let's say minus 5, right? So now if I divide this minus 5, right, this 0 with minus 5, right, then also my output is going to be 0 only, right? So here one base condition that I'm going to say that when my numerator value is 0, simply return 0. In string format we have to return the result, right? So this is the first base condition. If numerator is equal to 0, return 0, right? This is one thing, right? And next thing here, let's suppose your numerator is minus 10 and your denominator is minus 5. Then what is your output? So here I'm writing minus 5 and here I'm writing minus 10, right? So here minus 5 into 2 is nothing but minus 10, right? So output is 0. So output of this one, remainder is 0, output of this one is 2, right? So this is right now minus 10 and here minus 5 in denominator. Signs are going to cancel out each other. We are going to get the output as 2, right? So here output is 2, right? And this is nothing but a positive integer. Right now I'm not caring about this fraction, right? I'm only taking the numerator and denominator which are completely divisible, right? So here in this case, first base condition, if numerator is 0, return 0. And now see this sign, right? So here if both numerator and denominator is negative, our output is our output is positive, right? Now here if numerator is positive and if my denominator is negative, right, so in that case my output is always going to be negative, right? So here inside this we have 10, so minus 5 into minus 2, if you do, then only you are going to get positive 10, right? Clear? So here numerator is 10 and denominator is minus 5, so your output is going to be minus 2, right? So output is minus 2 here. Clear? Minus 2. So let me just mark it in green, right? So minus 2, right? And same way if your numerator is negative and let's say denominator is positive, right? In this case also numerator is minus 10 and denominator is 5, so 5 into minus 2, only then you are going to get minus 10, right? And here you are going to get the remainder as 0, right? So here in this case also output is minus 2. So from here I conclude that and one more case, that if both n and d are positive, right, then definitely output is going to be positive only, right? So from here I conclude that if any one value from numerator or denominator is negative, my output is always going to have this minus sign in front, right? This is what I conclude, right? Because we can have negative values right here. So if any one value from numerator or denominator is negative, I'm going to append this minus symbol in the front, right? So this is one more case, right? So now how I'm going to check here that only one thing is positive and not both, right? So for that purpose I can simply use XOR table, right? So in XOR table, if we have two inputs A and B, and let's say this is my result, so if both the inputs are same, then in my XOR table my output is going to be 0 only, right? If both the inputs are same. But if any one output is 1, right, so we are going to get different output, we are going to get 1 here in the result. So this is nothing but my XOR table, right? So if both the signs are same, so that simply means that value is going to be 0, right? So in that case we don't need to do anything, we don't need to append, right? But if the value is different, right, this one 0 you can say negative and 1 is positive, right? If any one value is different, right, in numerator and denominator, value is going to be 1, let's say 1 is positive, so in that case you have to append minus sign, right? So I'm going to write one if condition, and in if condition I'm going to say if numerator is less than 0 XOR with denominator less than 0, then in that case if values comes out 1, that is a positive value, right? Then in that case append minus in the my result, final result, right? So I hope that this part is also done. Now these two are the basic condition, right? Now here let's see this fraction part now. So here this part is already clear, right? If we have a remainder 0, then we are stopping, right? So here if a denominator is 1, numerator is 2, right? And here 1 into 2 is 2, and here we are going to get remainder 0, so we are just going to return this output. So as soon as my remainder is going to become 0, right, I'm simply going to return this, right? But here in this case, if you see, denominator is 2, and here numerator is 1, right? So now in this case 2 into 0 is 0, so here in this case my remainder is not equal to 0, right? So if for very first time, if a remainder is not equal to 0, what I'm going to do in my result, right now my result is 0, in this result I'm going to append this dot. So if I append this dot, then I have to multiply my remainder with 10, right? So 1 into 10 is nothing but 10, right? So this is what we do, right? When we use dot here in mathematics, we write 1 0 here, right? Done. Okay, this is done. Now after that we have to take this remainder, which is nothing but 10, and then we have to divide this remainder with our denominator 2, right? This is the next step. So here 2 into 5 is nothing but 10, so now here it comes 10, and this is my output. That's it. Here my remainder comes 0, and here I'm going to return this 0.5. That's it. Clear? This is how we solve these problems in mathematics, right? Now let's understand this problem with this example, very good example, because here we have repeating things, right? So denominator is 333 and numerator is 4, right? So here denominator is 333 and numerator is 4. All right, so now here let's understand. So first thing you are going to multiply this number, right? So you have to multiply it with 0 only in the start, right? So you are going to get here remainder is 4. So right now your remainder is not equal to 0, right? So first thing that we have checked is first thing that numerator is not equal to 0. We proceed further. Here both the things are positive, then in the result my sign is positive only. I don't need to use any sign, right? So right now if you see in the result I have this value 0, right? When I do a numerator, this is my numerator divided by denominator, right? I'm going to get this 0 here, right? This is my result as of now, right? Now after that I have checked the remainder is 4. It is not equal to 0. So if it is not equal to 0, then in that case in my result I have to append this dot. So here I'm appending this dot. This is the remainder, right? So I have seen this remainder 4. What is the length of my result as of now? We have 0 point, right? Something like this. So I'm going to say the length of this result is nothing but 2, right? I have to place 1 0 here, right? Now it is going to become 40, right? So now it is going to become 40. Now again we have to do what? We have to divide this 40 with this 333, right? So right now it is not possible, right? If I write 0 here, so 0 only, right? So here I'm going to get 0. So what is the value I'm going to get here? 40 is the new remainder that I'm seeing, right? 40 is the new remainder that I am seeing right now, right? And this value is 40, and here what is my total result? My result is going to become 0.0 right now, right? My result is going to become 0.0, right? And 40 is the remainder, and what is my result length here? So my result length is nothing but 0 1 2 1 2 3. Result length is 3. Done. Clear this thing, right? If you see here, my remainder is still not equal to 0, right? One more 0 is going to come here, right? 333 into 1, if I do, what I'm going to get? I'm going to get here 333. Now what is the remainder that I'm going to see here? I'm going to see 10 3 7 here 9 3 6, and here 0, right? 67, I will say 67, right? Now again, if you see, my remainder is 67, it is not 0, right? And what is my overall result? My overall result is this 0.01, right? And what is the length of this? 1 2 3 4, length is 4, right? This is done. So now this is 4. Now again, it is not 0, right? Again, my remainder is not equal to 0. What I'm going to do now after this? So again, I'm going to multiply this with 0, right? And now I will check further. So 333 into 2, if I do 333 into 2, if I do, right? So I'm going to get 666. So now when I'm going to get 666 here, so in that case 4 and here 0. So see, I'm getting 4. Done. I'm getting 4 here, right? So now if you see, I'm getting 4, right? And in the result I have to append this 2, right? This is my result as of now, right? And okay, and this is done, and my remainder is 4, right? So now if you see, my remainder is still not equal to 0, right? My remainder is still not equal to 0, right? But if you see, my remainder, this thing, in this thing I have this 4 already, right? I have this 4 already with me, right? Again, I'm seeing the remainder 4, but this remainder 4 is already there here. Let's say this is my map, this is my key, and this is my value. So this is already there, right? So if this is already there, so what I'm going to do now, here my this remainder map, let's say it contains this key, this remainder 4, right? So I'm going to create one variable position, right? And in position, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this value. What is this value? This value is nothing but 2, right? So I'm going to get this value here. So this is nothing but 2, right? Once I get this, then what I need to do after that, I'm going to insert in my result, right? This is my result, right? In my result, add position 2, I'm going to insert open bracket. So here, this is position 0, this is position 1, and at position 2, I'm going to insert this open bracket, right? And in the end, I'm going to append this, right? And once this is done, I'm just going to simply break, right? If my remainder map contains this particular key, right, in that case I will get this value 2, right? So this 2 value, I'm going to use this 2 value, and at 2 value I'm going to add this open bracket in my result, and in the end of the result I'm going to append this, and I'm going to break my loop, and in the end I'm just going to return this as my string. That's it. That's what we have to do, right? So very simple here. Let me repeat it again. So initially you have 4, right, and 333. So 333 into 0 is nothing but 0. So you are going to get 4. So once you are going to get 4 here, so once you get 4 here, right, so you see that this 4 remainder is not equal to 0, right? And if remainder is not equal to 0, in the result you have to add this dot, right? And once you add this dot, then after that what you need to do, your remainder is not equal to 0, you are going to check if this key is there in your hash map or not. So right now it is not there initially, right? So if it is not there, then after that what you are going to do, in the map you are going to put this 4, and what is the length of your current result? So current result length is nothing but this 2 only, right? Length of this 2 only, right? So this is done, and then after you are going to multiply it with 0, the remainder. So 40, it is going to become 40, and then in the result, this is the result. In this you are going to append what? Again you are going to divide this 40 with 333. So if you do, so you are going to use 0, so you are going to append 0 again. So once you append 0 here, right, say here for this one output is 40, right? So your this 40, right, this value is not equal to 0, right, and this 40 is not there in my map, right? So 40 you are going to add, and what is our current length? Current length is nothing but a 3, 0.0, length is 3, so you add this, right? And then after that again you are going to multiply this remainder with 0, right? 40, 400, it's going to become 400. Then once it is becoming 400, then you have to divide this 400 with 333, right? And whatever the result you are going to get here, so that is nothing but 1, so you are going to append this result here, right? And 400 is not there, so here you do this and 1, and here remainder is 67, right? So 67 is not there, you're going to add this, right? And once this is done, then again you see that 67 is not there in map, right? So after that again proceed, you add 0, and once you add 0, then again 670 divided by 330, you're going to get 4. So once you get 4, so you are going to see that this key is already there in your map. So if this is already there in map, so you are going to get this value 2, and in the result, whatever the result you have current, right, in this you are going to append at 2 position this, and at the end you append this and just break it, because from here if you see 4 very first time, again you have seen 4 very first time, right? Again 4 first time and 4 second time, right? So definitely from here cycle is going to repeat, right? That's it. So this is what we need to do, right? So I hope that you guys are clear, and with code you guys will get much better understanding. Very simple code. Let's write the code now, right? So here here do one thing here, just write one base condition that if your numerator value, if it is this value, numerator value, if this value is equal to 0, in that case simply you have to return a string, you have to return, right? So here 0. So this is done, and then after that here you need to write a string builder result, and here you have to write new string builder, and here we have to handle the sign, right? So how I'm going to handle here, so here I'm just going to write if the numerator value is less than equal to 0, and I'm just going to do the XOR with denominator value less than 0, right? So if we get 1 we are going to get if only one of them is a negative, right? So in that case we have to just append negative sign in the result. So result string builder I have already created, so I'm just going to append, right? Append what? This negative sign, right? So now I have taken care of this negative sign, right? So now I have to just convert one more thing. This numerator and denominator, right now it is an int, right? But we need to do this in a long format to avoid the overflow, right? So we are going to get some error if we just take the int, and we also need to change the sign now because I'm handling this negative here. So what I'm going to do, let's say convert to long to avoid overflow, right? So here what I'm going to do, long num, and here math dot absolute value, and here first I'm converting to positive, and here I'm just going to change it to long. One second, here inside this you have to write long, and here you have to write numerator, right? So numerator, and this is done. And same way for denominator, let's denote it with dn, and here math dot absolute value, and here inside this we have to change it to long as well, and here I'm not going to write denominator, that's it, right? And once this is done, then here integer part, whatever the integer part we are going to get, right? So integer part here in the result I'm just going to append what num divided by denominator, right? And this is the integer part, and now remainder I have to check. So how I'm going to check the remainder is equal to num modulus with denominator, right? And here if in the starting itself your remainder value, if it is equal to 0, then in that case you have to simply return the result, right? Return result dot to string, right? To string, right? So here no fractional part, right? Like this example, right? 2 divided by 1, so 2 0, so that's it, there's no fractional part. So that's what I'm doing here. But if this is not the case, right? If this is not the case, then here in the result I'm going to append one dot first. I'm adding one dot, right? So this is a dot that I have added, right? And now I'm going to create one map to store remainder, right? I'm storing remainder as key, and also I'm storing the position in result, right? Because in this particular position I have to add this open parenthesis, right? So position in the result, right? And here let's create this map, and here you say long, right? And here integer, and here remainder map new hash map, right? So I have created this map, and then here I'm just going to run one while loop while my remainder is not equal to 0, right? Until then I have to run this, right? So maybe in this case 0.5, and after 5 it becomes 0, right? So I'm running this loop until it's not become 0, right? And also here one base condition I will check if my remainder map is already containing this particular key, right? Particular remainder in the past. That simply means that now we are going to get some cycle, right? So then I'm just going to break. So remainder map dot contains key, and here which key, this particular remainder, let's say, right? So, and if this is the case, then I told you that you have to get the position first, right? So position, how you're going to get remainder map dot get, you are going to pass this particular key, right? And then you are going to get the particular value in the hash map. then you have to insert this right in the your result. So result string builder, you are going to insert at in this particular position, you have to insert what, open parenthesis, right? And in the end you have to result, you have to add the close parenthesis as well. So in the result only you have to append this close parenthesis, right? And then break it, right? We are not going to run this while loop forever, right, if we don't get 0. So this is what base condition we are going to check. And here otherwise, so right now you have just let's say you are going to get 0 here, 0 0.0 0 point only, right now 0 point, that's it, let's say. So here if you see, you are going to get in the result you have added 0, then remainder is not equal to 0, you are going to add dot, right? This is what we are doing here until now for example number 3. And then after that remainder is not equal to 0, so here I'm checking if key is not there, right? If right now if key is there but key is not there now, so what we have to do, first this particular remainder, that is nothing but this 4 I have to add, and the length of result, so length of result is nothing but 0 point as of now. So that's what I'm going to do here, remainder map dot put, and here remainder, and here you have to write result dot length. And once this is done, then here you have to write remainder into is equal to 10, and you have to multiply remainder with 10. Then after that in the result what you have to do, you have to append remainder divided with the denominator, right? And this is done. And after that you have to update the remainder as remainder modulus with denominator, right? This is your new remainder, right? And you are going to continue this cycle until it breaks here, right? And in the end you have to return what, you have to return result dot to string, right? So this loop is going to finish when your remainder is going to become 0, or when remainder map is already going to contain that particular remainder, only then it is going to finish, right? So that's it. And in the end you have to just return the result to string. Let's run the code and see if the encoding will try to fix that. So see, all the test cases has been accepted, right? Now let's submit it. So see, our solution is accepted, right? So I hope that you guys are able to understand today's problem, and if you guys still have any doubts, then please feel free to ask in comment section. Till then, keep coding and keep practicing. Meet you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.